Hey guys, welcome back to today's video. Today I'm kind of ad-libbing, kind of just going with the flow. I haven't really planned out this video, but I know what I want to say, and it's literally just a personal manifestation story. So kind of like a story time, personal manifestation example. I know you guys would love to see more of those kind of things. So yeah, I do want to do one about my client feedback and client stories because it's all anonymous. It's on my Instagram. There's no, personal details. So I would love to go over those with you guys as well and explain my advice that's related to my clients' success stories. But yeah, that's a different video as well. But today is going to be one of these personal videos. So welcome to any new viewers. We're talking about my hair today. And specifically, I did style it, in my wavy hair type. It's extra actually curly today, but I'm going to go over everything. It's not going to be more of a beauty video. It is going to tie into manifestation, examples, law of assumption. But yeah, it's kind of like a beauty routine as well, but more of that exact content. If you want to see this or you have similar hair, that's going to be on my vlog channel. So take a look there if you're interested in that. I'm going to get into exactly how I manifested this and the experience, and then you guys can, let me know your thoughts in the comments after the video as well. Yeah, I'm just going to be talking to you guys about my experience. So right before we jump in, as always, for any new viewers or people considering coaching, on screen will be my extra information for extra support, my monthly membership, which very, very soon I'm going to be filming the Q&A. So if you haven't signed up by the time you're watching this video, you probably will have already missed submission for the Q&A, but you can still watch it and engage if you sign up now, or sign up now for next month so that you can actually submit your own questions as a member. But all my one-to-one coaching as well is listed below in the description box. So yeah, take a look if you're interested. And now let's jump into this. So specifically, the number one kind of proof and result, you can see my actual hair right now in the video. I'll try and put as many pictures, and I'm just going to pop random images of my hair before, whilst manifesting it, that kind of thing. But I have an original video. This is an update. I think I put that in the title. I previously did my original how I manifested my dream hair, because at the time my hair was still wavy and it was still around the time I was actively manifesting that. So I'm going to give you guys a lowdown from start to this point now of what exactly I did. But yeah, there is an initial video, so there is quite a lot of content and description already in that video, so take a look there if you're interested. But yeah, around 2020 during lockdown, I decided, and I got into manifestation, found Sammy Ingram. I have videos talking about that as well from years ago on my channel. And I thought, yeah, do you know what? I'm going to manifest the hair that I want. I'm going to manifest all these different things that I want. Why not? I realized I can change anything I want for the better. So I thought, okay, let me start with the manifesting experience. I thought I would like voluminous, beautiful, perfect, like hair advert level hair. And my hair just seemed a little dry, frizzy, damaged, and I still have that kind of hair that's prone to that. Wavy curly hair gets kind of frizzy. But what I decided I'm going to think of a very definitive, detailed affirmation. So I said, the first video is going to give you guys the exact details, but I'm pretty sure the affirmation that I started with was, I have pre-Raphaelite mermaid waves or mermaid wavy hair, something like that. It was initially mermaid waves and pre-Raphaelite hair, which I believe is an art period. That was just very, very wavy, like an S formation type of wave. That was the hair that was very much featured in artwork. And I just thought this describes, for whatever reason, this describes the exact type of tight, curly hair that I want. So that was the wording that I used to get super specific. And then I switched it out. I thought, okay, let me define it a little more. Maybe I don't want super wavy curly hair. Lo and behold, look what I've ended up with. But then I thought, okay, no, more of like Disney princess. So I started saying I have Disney princess mermaid waves. And then I think at one point I switched out temporarily to beach waves. So I switched it up a little bit, but I got really specific. I was like, this is the exact image I want. I was thinking of Ariel. She had this like really beautiful, like blow-dried wavy hair. And I just thought, yeah, that volume, like without having to actually put that effort in, that's the hair I want. But I was specifically thinking of like, creating more of a wave similar to what I have now. So I will pop pictures up where I can, but basically in my first video as well, I showed you guys, literally I would wake up and I would have like coil curls. I'm not even joking. It was so shocking and weird to me. Even though I understood manifesting, I was really getting into it at that point. It was still such a surprise to me when I realized that I would just like my hair was starting to get a bit wavy in general. And if I let it air dry at that point, I was noticing, because I think I didn't really air dry my hair too much up until that point. But when I was noticing, okay, it's not fully straight. It has a little bit of a wave to it. It's not like, you know, type 1A hair. But specifically, it was only after I started manifesting and started doing my affirmations, doing self-concept affirmations. I was literally waking up and I was very intentional with it, very self-aware. When I start working on a goal, I'm like super laser focused on that. So I was noticing, okay, I'm waking up and I'm having like random pieces curled and my hair's getting more and more wavy. I would wake up, not change my routine. I wasn't using curly hair products. I wasn't, you know, finger coiling and doing any kind of like curly hair products. I was using the exact same routine I would have normally done. And I was waking up with wavier hair more and more and more. And I was making my hair super light at that time because I remember at the time I wanted blonde, wavy, thick mermaid hair. And I had images from my vision board that I would specifically use, and I would look at it and say, this is my hair. And it did start to get more like that. It was long. I managed to get it super blonde. And I do want to lighten my hair a little more than it is now, but on camera it's actually coming up a little bit darker. But I was literally starting to manifest the changes I wanted. My friends were shocked. My family, like when I showed anyone, I was like, look at what my hair has done. People were actually shocked, and that's the proof. Like, I have the timestamps on my phone, and I know you guys would believe it, but I'm just saying, like, you know, I had the literal proof that it was changing, and people were saying, you know, are you doing something different to your hair? And I literally wasn't. Even it got to the point where I like was barely doing a routine. I was trying to test it out when I would brush through my hair, which you're not really meant to brush wavy or curly hair because it can go frizzy, and then it can lose the formation. But I was doing that and it would still air dry into wavy hair. I was literally using normal shampoo, conditioner, maybe, you know, leave-in product or whatever, and then letting it air dry, do its thing, and it was drying super wavy. So I knew it was natural, and I knew it was kind of becoming permanent, but I stopped after a while. I think I did maybe no more than 10 minutes a day for a couple of weeks, and then I started to see the results. And then I think I continued maybe 5-10 minutes. It wasn't my main priority. It was just a little fun extra I wanted to do. And, you know, I didn't really know what to expect or if it would work. I had very little mental resistance. I think that was part of it as well. And I can't remember the exact period of time because I didn't note this down, but I would say maybe for a month, maybe up to 6 weeks maximum, I was looping my affirmation or consciously manifesting that. And then it kind of became permanent, where it kind of became less wavy when I stopped affirming. It wasn't as defined or visible, in my opinion. And then I went back to styling my hair normally, blow drying it, kind of being more specific. Yeah, so after a while I kind of stopped and I gave up, and I was like, oh, I like my hair as it is. Maybe I want my hair to be more straight now. Maybe I want it to just look the way it looks and not get more curly. So I wasn't too focused on it, but I think since that point, it never fully reverted back to being more straight. And the thing is, maybe I wasn't self-aware before. I do want to put a disclaimer, although I will explain the manifestation side. Perhaps this was just my hair type, and perhaps it had already formed like that and changed, because I know as you grow, hormones can change your hair type. You know, your appearance develops and shifts over time. You know, people have growth spurts. You know, a teenager might be short and then within a year they've grown an inch or two. You just never know. So yeah, these things can naturally happen, but obviously we know how manifesting works, how powerful our mindsets are, and it's just no coincidence that the only time I genuinely started noticing these changes were when I did my affirmations. So I will say my hair was never, since maybe like as an adult, never ever was it like pin straight. Like I said, it wasn't 1A, it wasn't fine or thin or smooth or super flat. It was always a little frizzy, had a little bit of volume, was a little bit thicker, but it was never what it is now or what it was when I started affirming. So I do think that was the main catalyst, if there was actually already like a natural pattern to it. So in terms of that and how it may have already developed over these years, you know, since 2020 is 5 years later, and prior to that point, maybe, you know, if we go into logic, or maybe I just, you know, had inspired action and it was something I was meant to do to discover my natural hair. Maybe it was my self-concept, me saying I'm beautiful, or, you know, whatever these things are. Maybe then the inspired action from my self-concept could have been, okay, well now I'm going to actually discover my ideal natural hair type, where if I really put the effort in, I'm just going to thrive with this natural wavy volumized hair. So maybe, you know, that could have been the catalyst. There's just so many different elements that are more deeply rooted in the subconscious, inspired action, destiny, you know, whatever, having prayers answered, all these different elements that can lead you to an action to actually discover something. But I do think the main thing was very, very likely that I just decided and reached a point, I want this kind of hair. And I started affirming for it. So the other thing may have been revision. So yes, it may have been natural, or there may be hormonal explanations. And, you know, in my family, there are family members who don't have straight hair, who have slightly wavy hair, thicker hair, maybe, you know, more of that hair type where it's a little bigger or frizzy, or it can, you know, it's prone to that kind of thing where it's not pinned straight and smooth completely. So yes, it absolutely could be like a genetic family background thing. So that is possible as well. But then me going back and thinking, oh yeah, maybe I have actually always had this hair because it was always a little bit frizzy. So maybe that could be revision. That could be part of my manifestation, where the logical and, you know, overall explanation for why I reached this hair was literally because, okay, DNA, genetics, that's how you explain it. There's always going to be a perfect route, a perfect explanation. This can apply to your specific person, any manifestation. You might say, yeah, well, I was going to walk this way anyway. I was going to buy this product anyway. I just had a random idea to call this person. It feels natural. It feels normal. So this could be the way my manifestation just makes sense to me. And the reasons, or perhaps even revision, that applies. You just never know, because time is not linear. Past, present, future are all occurring on the same timeline. So I could have very easily, you know, unintentionally created revision by focusing on this. So yeah, leading into present day, stopped after maybe a month or so of the affirmation. And like I said, it wasn't a priority. It wasn't that I, you know, really wanted to manifest this, or I was, you know, on a time crunch or something. I was like, let's just see how it goes. You know, I know it's possible. So my hair did literally shift, and then I kind of let it go, kind of was like, you know, using a lot of styling products, testing things out with my hair. I just wanted it really long. And then the longer it is as well, obviously the wave formation and heaviness of your hair can change how it looks as well. And I literally had no idea that I had changed my like complete hair type, that it could have easily been probably looking like this back then. I didn't know anything about this hair type. I just kind of did my normal products. I bought anti-frizz, things for glossy, shiny hair. I just wanted healthy, non-frizzy hair. So I just stuck to that, kind of did normal routine, let it air dry, because ever since then, if I let it air dry, leave it quite natural, it has always looked wavy. It was never straight from what I can remember. So over these 5 years, tested out different things. And funnily enough, about 3 years ago, two or 3 years ago, I bought a scrunching gel, and I don't know why. I think because I was like, oh, this will be good for when I'm on holiday, for that kind of beachy look. It has heat, like UV ray protection, and it's a really good one. It's the Umberto Giannini one. I'll talk about it more. I've posted it on my other vlog channel. But yeah, long story short, I bought that, and then I was using it. And if you don't use heat products, you have wavy or curly hair, because you're like, people with straight hair can't do this. And I was putting that in. I was like, oh, how cool. Like, my hair's super wavy. Wow, it works. And not realizing this is my actual hair type. My hair has literally become this. And then I've kept it, and I still had some left. I had 2 tubes, and I've been using that now. So I was doing it back then without realizing, and that's what I use now. So I had already bought this product years ago, and not realizing that probably since 2020, if I had put the effort in, realized it, looked it up, then I would have been able to have this hair for all along, and realized, wow, I manifested exactly what I wanted, even better, because I didn't really in my mind know exactly what it would look like, or my, you know, one ideal hair type, because I had several different images of different hair type, like more blow dried, more curly. I didn't really know. And then what led to this revelation about 1 or 2 weeks ago was, I think I was like, okay, I know when it air dries, it goes a bit wavy. Let me leave it more natural. I can't be bothered to keep blow drying. It's so hot this summer. I just don't want to be applying heat to my hair right now. So then I was like, okay, let me just scrunch it up with my hair. I'm not going to use that gel, but let me just let it air dry. And then, so I did the hand scrunching method, which I do normally anyway, but I just left it like that, just water, just scrunching. And it literally went super, super wavy, kind of like what I have right now with no product. So I was shocked. I was like, oh my gosh, wait. And then I went down this rabbit hole. I looked up on TikTok, I keep watching content. I was like, yes, this is actually my hair, like 2B, maybe virgin, even on 2C, where it's super, super wavy. So then I started looking more and applying more of a routine using that gel consistently. And I have to buy a lot more products now to change up my routine because I have a completely different hair type now. So it's been a whole revelation of, wow, this is my natural hair. This is what I wanted for years. This is kind of what I would have hoped for. I never thought my hair could do this. So yeah, this is a bit of a long-winded video, but just to summarize, yeah, I did that affirmation briefly, had very little mental resistance, kind of left it on and off, was like, we'll see what happens. I wasn't super attached to it, but I guess it fully conformed. And I had very logical, rational reasons for why maybe all along this was my natural hair. And I just had to get the inspired action and desire in my life to manifest it and focus on it to end up finding out I can have this hair. So yeah, that was my hair transformation story. The first video as well is worth watching prior to watching this one. But yeah, hopefully that was useful and interesting. I hope I put some before and after pictures in there. Well, before pictures in there as well. And yeah, do thumbs up, subscribe, turn on that notification bell if you enjoyed, if you want more of these kind of videos, and I will see you guys next time. Bye.